G'day and welcome to another edition of Hef's Beer Reviews. Today I'm reviewing this beer here. It's Australian brewed Coors. It's the Australian version of Coors Light. You will notice that on the can it does not say light, it just says Coors. The reason for that is very simple. Here in Australia, a light beer is actually a low alcohol beer. So usually a light beer will have an ABV somewhere between 2 and 3%. Interestingly, though, these days it's actually increasingly difficult to find a light beer, a low alcohol beer. Obviously, the introduction of light beers coincided with the advent of random breath testing in an attempt, very successful attempt for the most part, to reduce the incidence of drink driving. So it used to be quite popular, but these days it's all about mid-strength or zero alcohol beers. Anyway, a little bit of backstory to this one. So look, I spent a reasonable amount of time in the US in 2003. Now, a couple of months was actually spent in northeast Pennsylvania, where I grew very fond of Yingling, but the rest of the time when I was in other parts of the country, Coors Light was one of my go-tos. Remember, this was 2003. Macro lagers still very much dominated the beer scene, both here in Australia and in the US, so that was what I drank. We used to get the imported version of Coors Light. It was introduced, I think, in about 2010 from memory. Initially with the Coors Light labelling, then they started just importing it with a Coors label for the reason that I noted before. But in the last few years, they've stopped importing. They've started brewing it at the Coopers Brewery in Adelaide. It's distributed by Good Drinks Australia. So, Australian brewed. Let's see what it's like. 355ml can, 4.2% is the ABV. Let's pour it out into this Pilsner glass. Okay, 1.2 standard drinks. So there it is, light straw colour, very clear, less than a finger of bright white head. I'm not too sure that it's going to stick around either. Aroma, just a light grainy smell. No hops. Yeah, that's it. Let's see how it tastes. Cheers. Light body. Very minimal bitterness. Almost none. If I had to put a figure on it, I'd say we're getting really close to about 10 or 12 IBU, that's it. Flavour profile. Again, I'm not getting anything from what I'm assuming is a small amount of hops that they've used. It's just a very faint grain flavour. Not much there at all. Now, interestingly, Coors Light, of course, is an American adjunct lager, traditionally using corn, like a lot of other North American adjunct lagers. When I went online to the Australian Coors website, which from memory is coorsbeer.com.au, I had a look at the ingredients. No mention of corn. What they did have was wheat. So barley, wheat, hops, water, and yeast. Very interesting. So I don't have a side-by-side comparison, but this does not taste like the American Coors Light. Corn obviously keeps the beer very light in colour, light in flavour, but it does impart a unique flavour. It's a different taste to barley malt. Wheat does the same. Wheat also keeps the body very light. Often aids in head retention, but not in this case. But it does also impart some flavour. So in addition to the obvious differences that you're going to get when you're brewing under license in a foreign country, thinking about things like the water profile, water chemistry. If it's brewed at the Cooper's brewery, they may well be using Cooper's malt. I'm not sure, but they may well be. And I'm assuming with something like this that's so light, it's probably mostly just Pilsner malt anyway. But it's a different beer, and it's not a good beer. There is a time and a place for these kinds of beers. Obviously, in the hot weather, it's refreshing. It's got a bit of crispness about it without being super dry. But if you want something that's got flavour, if you want to flavour some lager, this is not it. If you want something that's light and easy to drink and very sessionable, then this might appeal to you. However, the price point, you're looking at somewhere around $55 to $60 for a case, or low $20 mark for a 6-pack. So it doesn't compare all that favourably to the Australian macro lagers. You're paying about the same amount, 355ml can, as opposed to most Australian lagers, 375, and 4.2% ABV. So most of the Australian macros are going to give you a higher ABV than that. Not by much, but higher nonetheless. So whereas obviously for the flavour of American brewed Coors Light, which I quite like, you're not getting that, and you're not getting a beer that's brewed in the US if that's what you're after. So I'm not too sure where the appeal is coming from. If you want a light, low carb lager, you can get something that's just as good, if not better, that's brewed in Australia, and is going to cost the same or less. Let's have a sip. We'll give it a score. Yeah. It's disappointing. It's disappointing because I will always have a soft spot for the American brewed version of Coors Light, but this is not it. It's a different beer. I don't particularly like it. It's a 2 out of 5 for me. It's a 2 out of 5 for Australian brewed Coors. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time on Hef's Beer Reviews.